join me for an exciting adventure to try and find Muckersie Chapel near the village of Dargie in Perthshire. Now, let's see what notes I've got. So, according to the Standing Building Recording, 2008, it's a roofless ruin occupying the site of the former medieval parish church. Built of local sandstone and shows several phases of construction and modification. Now, one thing that struck me as quite funny in the description was that the windows have chamfered mouldings. What on earth is a chamfered moulding? Well, I guess we'll go and find out. So we're now on the way to try and find Muckersie Chapel. So I'm going to go across this little bridge here, and then I think we just turn off just slightly past it, and then we'll go down a track for a little bit and have a rummage around the woods and see if we can find it. Well, we've found it, and it is a stunning little chapel. Not too hard to find. You'll find it fairly easily from the village of Dargie. And we're going to have a wee look around in a moment. Before we do, let's get some notes from my notebook. So this chapel, was first mentioned in a papal grant dated in about 1181 to 1185, and it was originally a church. However, it was later demolished and replaced by the existing chapel, as you see behind me. Which served as a burial ground for the Belches family of Invermay. Now, there's an Invermay castle that's somewhere yonder that way, which I believe would be connected to that family. So this must be their original burial ground. And this thing was built in about 1840. So we're going to go in and see if we can find those chamfered moulding windows. Now, this place is completely overrun with foliage, as you might expect in the summer. So you might want to come here later in the year when all this has died off and you've got a clearer path ahead. But what we can see here, there's an altar there. So I'm going to get a bit of a closer look at that in a moment. But you can see these windows. Now, don't they look rather stunning with the way that the stonework just sort of sits there? This must be what chamfered means. And actually, they are really, really impressive. So as much as I found it funny before, these are actually quite splendid windows, and I think a highlight and one of the reasons that you should come and find this place. Now, let's see if we can get a little closer to this altar. This is full of nettles, so I don't advise you come here in the summer. But there you go. That is really cool. I'm going to come back here in the winter and see what it's like. Yeah, nasty big crack in the side of the wall there. So sadly, it's maybe not as stable as initially thought, but oh well, hopefully it doesn't do too much damage over time. Well, that concludes my little adventure to Muckersie Chapel. It's just about to rain, so it's probably a good time to scram. But before I go, I have to ask an important question. Do I recommend it? Well, it's a good time to introduce my grading system. 4 levels, gold recommendation, silver recommendation, bronze recommendation, or no recommendation at all. Now, your bronze is for stuff that's maybe local or a small thing that you can tack on to a bigger adventure, but maybe not incredibly exciting all on its own or worth a huge trip to come out and see. Your silver, that's for things that are maybe worth that detour or a sort of small trip to go and see. Stuff that's maybe got a bit more adventure about it, a little bit more exciting to explore, worth coming a little bit out of your way to do. Gold is for the top level stuff, something you can build a whole day or weekend around, something that's got a lot of adventure, big castles, big caves, stuff like that. The really creme de la creme explorers. So I'd say Muckersie, maybe give it a bronze. If you're in the area, it's well worth coming out to have a wee look around it. It does have some good local history. Those windows are quite fascinating. But there really isn't a lot to come and do here. It is just a nice area, and if you are doing other things, you can tack it on to a bigger adventure. But I'm going to give that one a bronze recommendation, and that kind of sets a tone for upcoming adventures to kind of measure that against. Now, I'm going to head off now, so I hope you've enjoyed it and will join me on the next adventure. So that was just some bonus footage of a little windmill I found on the map in some woods near Forgandenny. Now, I imagine that it's been long abandoned and those trees have grown around it because with all that tree cover, the wind would never get to it. It wouldn't be able to turn the propellers. Oh, the propellers. What are they called again? Sails. Yes. But it was a nice wee find, but it's a shame because somebody was in there having a wee barbecue, so I didn't really want to intrude or disturb them, but I'll definitely come back when it's quieter and have a good look inside. It would have been a splendid thing in its day, I imagine.